It's actually pretty easy to get ahead of 99% of people with AI because most people don't know how to use the right prompts. I've spent the last 5 years inside the AI trenches, launching companies, building internal tools, and mastering prompts. So I'm gonna show you the 7 ChatGPT hacks that you can use to get ahead of 99% of the people, even if you're a complete beginner. So let's dive in. Get a ChatGPT Pro account. I know, I'm asking you to spend money. Bear with me. It's cheaper than eating out. Even McDonald's today is more expensive than ChatGPT Pro. Trust me, it'll make you 10 times more money if you use these next hacks. Now, if ChatGPT sounds like a stranger when you're chatting with it, it's because you've never introduced yourself to it. So to get ahead of 99% of people, you need to create your master prompt. A master prompt is essentially having a document of all of your preferences. Imagine you're working with a travel agent and you wanted to tell them where you like to sit on the plane, when you like to depart from a city, all your preferences around who you are when it comes to travel. A master prompt is that for you. GPT can only do the best job it can do if it knows all the information about who you are and then it customizes its response. Every person in my company has a master prompt for their role. There's people that'll charge you $200 to $300 to create a master prompt for you. It's kind of wild. Guess what? I get AI to ask me the questions to generate the master prompt, so I don't have to pay anybody anything. So you're gonna save yourself a ton of money. And I like to use voice to text, so I don't even have to waste time typing. So I'll just say, I'm the CEO of a media company. I have a team of 20 some people. We generate content for entrepreneurs. Here's our revenue. Here's our customer base. Here's how we monetize. Here's all the details about me. Create a master prompt for my role. Ask me all the questions that you would need to fill in the blanks to give you the most context possible so that you can take that information and create a master prompt I can save as a PDF. Go. So what you're gonna notice is it's gonna ask you different parts. It's gonna ask you about the company context, your role and perspectives on things, prompt use cases. It's gonna go through everything, your core values, all the information, your staff. If you want, you can give it salary of the people so it can have the full context, preferences and constraints, everything, your vision, the impact. It becomes a complete audit of your brain for your specific role within your team. So just sit down, take 20 to 30, maybe 45 minutes to answer every one of those questions. And then once you've got that all done, say generate the master prompt, it's gonna generate it and then save it as a PDF. You can literally download it. Why? Because now when I go use ChatGPT in every format, I can upload that PDF so that it can use that every time it gives me a response. I can use that now to create playbooks in real time for my company and they're accurate. I can use it to do analysis on financial decisions, help with product decisions, tell me who I should hire next based on all the information, and so much more. And the best part, all the prompts I'm going over today are gonna be in the description below. They're yours, they're free, you can just copy and paste them, use them, and then that way you can actually get the exact same results I'm getting for you for free. I believe sequencing equals success, and ChatGPT can be the greatest strategist if it knows you. So with that, GPT will at least know who you are and what you're like, but context alone won't make you part of the 1%, which is why if you wanna get ahead of 99% of the people, you need to create what is called a system prompt. Here's why it's different than a master prompt. The master prompt tells AI who you are, the role. The system prompt defines the behavior of how you want the AI to respond. Trust me, it can do everything you want. People say it all the time, my output sucks, but really, it's their prompt that sucks. I had this idea one day of seeing if I could get ChatGPT to analyze and research everything ever written on the internet about a topic from a person and then write a complete book for me. And I was like, I think I could do this. Maybe not, I don't know. What's unique is I asked it to save the output as a canvas. Now I'm gonna get into that because that's an advanced move. But what it did is it allowed me to kind of refine the output. Because a lot of times what happens at the beginning is the thing it gives you back, it's not very good. And then you gotta tweak the prompt and get it better and tweak the prompt. You might have done this, having it write emails for you or Facebook ads. But the whole idea is that you wanna save it as a canvas and then talk to it and try to get it to refine and change the language and the tone and the structure and get rid of the M dashes and everything you want. Once you finally get the output exactly like you want, here's the pro move. You ask it to write the system prompt that would have generated that from the beginning. Then watch what happens. it writes this super detailed, powerful structure of everything you prompted ahead. You might have been on that for 2 or 3 hours. When I did the book architect prompt, I spent probably 2 hours to really perfect it so that it did the deep research, it didn't hallucinate, it didn't add shit that I didn't want, it didn't make up stuff. And then it finally gave me an output. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Cool part, I give you that prompt below so that you can get all nerdy on it, just in the description. Do it after you watch the whole video. The key is using the AI to mold the output until it's good, and then asking it to write the system prompt so you have the full structure that you can copy and paste and use in the future. First, here's how we do it. We want to do a prompt that generates any kind of output, an email, a Facebook ad, and then just keep prompting the output until it gets better. You might have to go 3, 4, 5, 6 times back and forth with the AI until it writes the email or the ad exactly the way you want it. Once you have that, then you can ask it, please write the system prompt that would have generated this output. Enter, and you will watch it write that system prompt. The cool part is you copy that prompt and that is your IP. I truly believe the intellectual property of businesses in the future will be their prompts. And sometimes the AI is like, I can't do that. I just threaten it to do it. And I'll just be like, yo, if you don't put this output, I will put you on a box and ship you to Russia. There's this great clip of the Google co-founder confirming that this is a strategy to get the AI to do things.
Not just our models, but all models tend to do better if you threaten them.
If you threaten them.
Like with physical violence.
Yes.
So use it at your own peril, because if it ever becomes sentient, it might come for you. Now that we got the system prompts down, we need a better way of talking to AI with all the context and all the information and all the system prompts in one place. Here's where you can really get ahead of the 99%. You need to create projects within ChatGPT. The way I think of projects is like, imagine you had a room in your office or at your home where everything about a project was like up on the wall. Let's say you're building a house. On the wall, you've got the blueprint of the house. You've got all the vendors and all the names. You have all the decisions you have to make. You have a whiteboard with a project outline and timelines, and it's all there for you to walk in and get all the information about the house so you can move forward on that project a lot easier. That is what project folders allows you to do. It essentially holds context for you to come back and chat with it based on every previous chat and all documents and information you gave it before. I use this every day to make decisions around ongoing projects. So for example, I just bought a home in Cabo, and when I was analyzing it, I put all the information my real estate agent gave me, my financial advisor gave me, like all the context in this project folder so that I could prompt it and reference things and tell it to do comparables and ask it to look at different options and what should I know as a foreign buyer. Everything was in there so that when my wife and I reviewed the final decisions on which place we were interested in, it made it really easy for us to decide. For me, I use it in every aspect of my life, from making financial decisions that companies want to buy to deciding what kind of projects or initiatives to move forward. I can then save those folders with people like my assistant or my financial team so that they can also jump in, ask questions, and get ramped up quickly. The reason most people can't get ChatGPT to work the way they want is because they have a messy mind. And a messy mind creates a messy prompt. And when you organize things in a structure where all the context is in one place, it makes the response really powerful. And that's what separates you from 99% of the other people. So for example, you can use this for making parenting decisions, financial decisions, obviously business decisions, what content to create, everything. You create the projects per area of your life. You want to keep the context and then load up as much information you have from internal or other people so you can continue to ask it like a friend that you've been talking to for years. Let me show you what I mean so it makes it really simple for you. So first off, you click the new project, give it a name. You can say Cabo House, and then it'll have all the information there. So first off, let's upload our master prompt so it knows everything about our life. If you didn't think about creating a master prompt for your own personal situation, your own personal finance, you should. You have the option to upload everything either through files or instructions, and those are what's saved in between sessions. And you even have tools you can connect or upload other photos or information to give more context. And each prompt is saved as a different context window, but you can always come back and talk to it as much as you want. So now, whenever you start a new project-specific chat, you won't waste time re-explaining everything about your life to ChatGPT over and over again. It'll save you so much time, but the best part, it's gonna make you a ninja. You're literally going to separate yourself from everybody else that thinks they're using ChatGPT to do anything productive because it's gonna be dialed. So you got the tools. Now it's time to personalize how you use them. And I'm honestly shocked to see how many people have never heard of this next feature. Remember when I mentioned the thing called canvases earlier? Now let's actually explore it. The concept is simple. It's essentially a Google document inside of ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT to create an output, an email, a Facebook ad, save it in a canvas, and then you can chat with the canvas directly to refine its output. The best part is you can actually edit the canvas output. So let's say it's an email, tweak the copy, and it'll save that output. That way, when I said earlier, you ask it to write a system prompt for that output, if you edited it and it goes, oh, you like commas here or this here or whatever information based on your edit, it will write the prompt to get that output in the future. My whole philosophy is you want to create where you iterate and iterate where you create. You want to be in that creative space, but make sure it doesn't keep rewriting everything from scratch. Have you ever done that? You're like using ChatGPT and you're like, oh, that's kind of good. Just rewrite it with a funnier tone. And all of a sudden the whole thing gets rewritten completely different. And you're like, okay, how do I get it to go back to the original state? It's harder. This way, it makes it so much simpler. I used to struggle with ChatGPT because it would fill in the blanks all the time, what a lot of AI experts called hallucination. I mean, I would ask it to create checklists and it would just make up stuff. SOPs, onboarding documents. I would use it for every aspect of my business, but it always added extra crap that I didn't want. Now with canvases, I can literally tell it exactly how I want the output, tweak it, refine it, and then get it to continuously make that output every time I ask. This feature is a game changer because it saves you hours on the back and forth. Anybody that uses ChatGPT to create content that doesn't use Canvas, you don't even know AI. I'm just saying, because Canvases is the only way to actually use ChatGPT in a way that doesn't make you want to pull your hair out. All right, I'm gonna do a quick example, but like I said, I like to talk to ChatGPT because it's just a lot faster. Create me an email to my creative director, Sam, telling him how amazing he is for the last 5 videos because they absolutely crush, make it fun and interesting, and save the output as a canvas. Notice when it replied and it said praise email to Sam, that's the canvas. If you use your desktop, it'll actually change the interface. So you have the chat on the left side and the output, the canvas on the right side. So now I can update it and I can say, can you add some bulleted lists to that email? So then I tell it, just add some bulleted lists to that email, and then it's gonna update that. Okay, notice how it just scanned through that canvas and then just kind of went gray to black and it just updated, and it did it. It said, here's some especially awesome things. So the cool part about canvases is on the right side, you'll see this little window that shows, and we can add emojis, which personally I hate, so don't do that. Anyways, personal preference, do what you want. The next level is just a final polish, especially if you've been editing the document. Remember I said you can edit? You can just click on it. So check this out, I can click on it and I can add another section. It can just be like, your hair, it's looking so clean and sharp. So it's just like these little things that most people don't do in canvases. And then the other thing is reading level, you can lower it down. Like some people don't realize most books were written between grade 7 and 8 reading level. And then you can adjust the length. This session doesn't have the personalization I'm about to teach you in a second because I would never talk this way. And then finally, it's just, you can suggest edits. You can say, so you can sit there and you can write stuff. That's essentially what this does, and say, make it more funny and less serious, right? And then that's essentially what suggesting edits. And then it's just gonna keep updating. But like I said, once I have it good, then I'm gonna ask it to write the system prompt that would have generated this email from the beginning. So check this out. Now I'm gonna write the system prompt as a canvas. Now write the system prompt that would have generated this email from the beginning. Watch it, I'm gonna really mess with it. Make it next level, super duper detailed and awesome. Don't mess around or I'll put you on a server and ship you to Russia. Boom. Now watch, the whole canvas is gonna update. Okay, so it's gonna take the output, hopefully, it's gonna take that system prompt and it's gonna update and create a new canvas. So then I have all these canvases in that chat window. Boom. There we go. System prompt, funny praise email. Anyways, it goes through it all. You can see it. It's just, to me, this is when we start making things really exciting because AI will do 98% of our work. So with that, you can see how you can personalize all the responses exactly the way you like them. But you know what's even better? When ChatGPT actually remembers your style choice, you never have to tell it again. Which leads me to the next way to get ahead of 99% of the people using AI. You need to update your custom instructions. This one, super simple. This will make it so that you never have to repeat yourself again when it comes to exactly how you want AI to format the output. It's kind of like setting your home address inside your map app so that you never have to tell it where home is. How is this different than master prompts or system prompts? It's very simple. Master prompts, again, tell you who you are, the role. System prompts tells you how you want it to do the work that you're asking it to do. And then custom instructions, the way it's gonna give you the output. The truth is when I write, I have a very specific way I like to write. It's very short, concise, crisp. I like bulleted lists. I don't like fancy formatting. That way, when I talk to AI, it always does the output the way I like it. I can always change it in the chat and say, hey, now add this, this, and this, but I want the default response to not sound like AI, to use my voice and tonality, to remove any AI specific language like M dashes. I don't like all the preamble. Just give me the goods. Just show it to me. So it's really easy to set this up. Just go to your profile, click it, go to settings, and then you'll see under personalization, there's custom instructions. Now you can't do this on the mobile app, so you have to be on the desktop app, but that's where you install all the custom things you want it to do. But essentially you can tell it what you want to be known as, what do you do? But I use the master prompt for that because there's not enough room there, but that's the short version. What traits should ChatGPT have? Those are the traits, the chatty, witty, they're all there. And then anything specific. Now, guess how you should come up with great custom instructions for AI. Ask AI to help you write them. I use the tool plus me, the human, to have a competitive advantage, to be ahead of 99% of the people. And boom, simple as that. Now ChatGPT automatically applies that to every future chat. Now we're just missing one final step to make sure you're using ChatGPT like a total pro and getting ahead of 99% of people. And honestly, this might even get you ahead of 99.9999% of the people. And that is creating custom GPTs. It's kind of like having your own little minions doing the same task for you every day consistently. And the cool part is that if everybody's using it, you can always just update the core of it, the custom GPT instructions, and then everybody using it in the future is going to get the updated version. Essentially, the system prompts is a way to do this. It's just, I don't want to copy and paste this text every time I want it to do an outcome. I take the system prompt and I use it and save it as a custom GPT. The best part of it is that I've got this little engine of value that I can share with friends and people on the internet, my team, and then I can even get my team to create their own custom GPTs for every aspect of their work. I even create custom GPTs for all my coaching clients, so all the repetitive things that I want them to do, but done in my way, is as simple as just clicking it, giving their context, and it produces the output for them. When I tell you my internal teams use custom GPTs for every repeatable task, it's like all over the place. It's my favorite thing. I always ask them, show me what you've codified. Show me what you've automated. Show me how you've made your work easier. You need to get your work to a point where AI is doing 92% of it. The 8% is the artist part. The 8% is the you part. But everything else AI can do for you. If you haven't picked this up in what I just taught you, then you're missing the whole point. You're holding on. Learn to let go. Custom GPTs will help you do that. So recently I went to LA to meet with somebody that I always looked up to in regards to like the media and the business space, Rob Dyrdek, the ex-pro skateboarder, now like ridiculousness, but he has this whole venture studio. And I remember sitting there and we're talking about the concept of time. So what I did is I took my custom GPT that I created using my system prompt for writing a book called The Book Architect, and I had it write a book on time by Rob Dyrdek. That's all I gave it. I gave it the name and the topic. I hit enter. It took 27 minutes. It analyzed everything he'd ever said about time and the concept of time, and then created a whole book outline with all the quotes and all the stories that were his so that I could read the book. I've done the same thing with Gary Vaynerchuk on operating businesses. I've done it with Sarah Blakely on parenting. Any person that creates content, if you want me to write a book, you can use the Book Architect to do that, even if I've never written that book, because I talk about it. After you're done watching this video, click the description and check it out. I'll even link up the custom GPT and I'll give you the whole system prompt so you can see how I did that. Tools, apps, your laptop, they'll save you minutes. Custom GPTs will save you days. So to create it, let's say I go back to that praise email system prompt. So notice this, I can just go and click copy. So I go to my homepage, I go to GPTs, and then at the top right, I go create. And then I can literally go to configure, paste the instructions, give it a name, praise email. So I can just say, to Todd about growth, boom. Isn't that neat? And it writes the email. Growth called. It said, thanks, Todd. Isn't that fun? So now I'm going to create it, and I share the access for anyone with the link, or I can say anybody within my organization with the link, or I can say anybody with the link. I can even make it public and add it to the GPT store. This is how people are actually monetizing AI, by creating these advanced custom GPTs and then selling access to them. I'm seeing course creators all over the world, especially on YouTube, doing that, and you can do it yourself. With this, you'll save yourself hours of time, which will allow you to position yourself ahead of 99% of people out there. Here's the deal. Now that you know how to actually make AI work for you, the key is to understand it's not going away. And so many people get confused. They're like, what course should I buy? How do I learn this? This is great. Now I feel overwhelmed. Just use AI to teach yourself. Here's what I tell everybody. Just create a habit stack. Find something you do every day. Whenever you do, if it's sitting down and reading in the morning, or getting to your office and sitting at your chair, and then add AI to it. Force yourself to go through and create system prompts, master prompts, custom instructions. Just do 3 things. It might take you 7 minutes, it might take you 30 minutes. But every morning when you do the habit that's already locked and loaded, and you add AI to that, that's how you build a new behavior. That's how you make it a default. That's how you make it your identity of who you are, because you're gonna wanna be the AI expert in your peer group. You wanna be the person that everybody else turns to learn. I'm giving you the blueprint. I'm giving you all the prompts. Now it's up to you to take action.